Have you ever noticed how your doctor's tone changes when they start talking about your blood pressure? Maybe they furrow their brow a little, or maybe they gently mention it's a bit high again. You nod, promise to watch your salt, maybe take your pills a little more regularly, and then life goes on. But deep down, you might be wondering, is this something I should really be worried about? The short answer? Yes. But here's the good news. There's a lot you can do about it, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. High blood pressure, often called the silent killer, is one of those things that sneaks up on us, especially as we get older. It doesn't always come with warning signs or dramatic symptoms. You might feel perfectly fine, but behind the scenes, your heart is working harder than it should. Your arteries are under pressure, and over time that can lead to serious problems: heart attacks, strokes, kidney issues, even memory loss. Now, if you're over 60, chances are you've either been told you have high blood pressure or you've been warned that you're getting close. You're not alone. In fact, more than half of all adults over 60 deal with it. But just because it's common doesn't mean it's harmless, and it certainly doesn't mean it's too late to take control. That I end this video, we're going to walk through some simple, practical steps you can take to lower your blood pressure naturally and safely. These aren't complicated medical routines or extreme diets. These are real-life habits, things you can start doing today that can lead to real, lasting change. Because the truth is, small changes add up. And when it comes to your heart, every little bit helps. Let's start with something that might surprise you. How you move your body every day has a direct impact on your blood pressure. And no, I'm not talking about running marathons or joining a fancy gym. I'm talking about gentle, consistent movement, something as simple as a daily walk. Imagine this: you wake up, stretch a little, and head outside for a 10-minute walk around the block. The sun's just coming up, the air is fresh, and your body begins to wake up too. Your heart gets a little workout, not too much, just enough to get the blood flowing. Your muscles loosen, your joints thank you, and your mind clears a little. That simple act, done daily, can lower your blood pressure over time. It improves circulation, reduces stress, and helps your heart function more efficiently. If walking's not your thing, that's okay. Maybe you prefer dancing around the living room to your favorite music, or doing some light stretching while watching TV. The key is consistency. Just 20 to 30 minutes a day of light activity can make a huge difference. And if you're thinking, but I've never been active, don't worry, it's never too late to start. Your body will thank you no matter when you begin. Now, let's talk about something we all do every single day, but don't always think about: what we eat. You've probably heard that salt raises blood pressure, and that's true. But it's not just about the salt shaker on your table. It's the hidden salt in packaged foods that really adds up. Canned soups, frozen dinners, deli meats, salty snacks, all of these are packed with sodium. And the tricky part is, they don't always taste salty. That's why reading labels can be so helpful. When you start looking at the sodium content, you might be shocked at how much is hiding in the foods we eat every day. But here's where things get encouraging. Just by reducing your sodium intake, you can noticeably lower your blood pressure in a matter of weeks. And it doesn't mean your food has to be bland or boring. Fresh herbs, garlic, lemon juice, and spices can add flavor without adding salt. Try seasoning your meals with rosemary, thyme, or paprika. It's amazing what a little creativity in the kitchen can do at the same time. Try adding more potassium-rich foods into your meals. Potassium helps balance out the effects of sodium in your body. Foods like bananas, sweet potatoes, spinach, and beans are not only heart-healthy, they're delicious and easy to include in everyday meals. You're not just eating to stay full, you're eating to protect your heart. And if cooking feels like a chore these days, consider prepping a few simple meals ahead of time. A pot of homemade vegetable soup, a tray of roasted veggies, or even a smoothie with greens and fruit can go a long way. You don't have to be a gourmet chef, you just have to keep it simple and intentional. Let's pause for a moment and take this in. You've already got two powerful tools at your fingertips: movement and food. These are things you already have access to. You don't need a prescription, you don't need a complicated plan, you just need to start. And here's something else to think about. Every time you take a walk or choose a heart-friendly meal, you're not just lowering a number on a chart. You're giving yourself the energy to keep doing the things you love. Whether that's playing with your grandkids, tending your garden, or simply waking up without that foggy, sluggish feeling, your life gets better when your blood pressure is in check. Now that we've covered how movement and nutrition can support a healthy heart, let's take a moment to talk about something that's often overlooked, but just as important as what we eat or how we move, and that's how we handle stress. Now, you might be thinking, at this age, what do I have to be stressed about? But the truth is, stress doesn't disappear just because we retire or the kids move out. In fact, for many seniors, stress can become a quiet but constant part of daily life. Whether it's worrying about health, managing finances, feeling lonely, or even just the little frustrations that come with getting older, like misplacing your glasses again or dealing with new aches and pains, it all adds up, and your heart feels it even if you don't. When we're stressed, our bodies release hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These are helpful in short bursts, like if you need to slam the brakes in traffic, but when they stick around too long, they keep your blood pressure elevated. That's why chronic stress is such a sneaky contributor to high blood pressure. You may not feel anxious, but your heart might be working overtime just trying to keep up. So, how do we calm the storm? It doesn't have to involve fancy techniques or expensive therapies. Sometimes, it's the simplest things that bring the most peace. Taking a few moments each day to breathe deeply, close your eyes, and just be still can work wonders. Try this. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale gently through your mouth for 4. Do that a few times, especially when you feel tension building in your shoulders or your chest. You can also try something called quiet time. That might mean sitting outside with a cup of tea, listening to the birds, or lying down with your favorite music playing softly in the background, or even just turning off the news for a while and giving yourself permission to disconnect. Your mind needs rest, just like your body does. And don't underestimate the power of connection. Loneliness is one of the most common and most harmful types of stress for older adults. If you've been feeling isolated, try reaching out. Call a friend. Join a local group or club. Even a short conversation with a neighbor can lift your spirits and help your heart feel a little lighter. We're social creatures, and staying connected can actually lower your blood pressure and boost your mood. Another great stress reliever? Laughter. Yes, really. Watch a funny movie, read a lighthearted book, or spend time with people who make you laugh. Laughter lowers stress hormones and improves blood vessel function, plus it just feels good. Now, while we're on the topic of things that feel good, let's talk about sleep. Because restful sleep isn't just nice, it's necessary, especially for managing high blood pressure. Sleep is when your body resets. Your heart rate slows down, your blood pressure dips naturally, and your body gets a chance to heal. But if you're tossing and turning, waking up tired, or going to bed at different times each night, your heart never gets that chance to fully relax. And over time, poor sleep adds to the pressure. Literally, that if you've ever had a night of broken sleep and felt groggy, irritable, or just off the next day, you've already felt the effects. The good news is, better sleep is within reach even if it's been a struggle for a while. Start by creating a calming bedtime routine. Try turning off bright lights an hour before bed. Dim the room, maybe take a warm shower or read something light. Avoid screens, phones, TVs, tablets, because the blue light they give off can trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime. And if you're sensitive to noise, try a white noise machine or a fan to help block out distractions. Also, keep your sleep space comfortable. A cool, dark, and quiet room is ideal. And if you find yourself wide awake in the middle of the night, don't just lie there frustrated. Get up, stretch a little, or read something relaxing until you feel sleepy again. Forcing sleep often backfires. Sometimes it's better to gently ease back into it. Be mindful of food and drink. 2. Try not to eat heavy meals late at night, and avoid caffeine or alcohol close to bedtime. Even though a nightcap might make you drowsy at first, it can actually disrupt your sleep later on. And if you snore loudly, wake up gasping, or feel exhausted even after a full night's sleep, it might be worth talking to your doctor. Conditions like sleep apnea can raise blood pressure and often go undiagnosed in older adults. There are treatments available, and getting a good night's sleep could make a huge difference in your energy, mood, and heart health. So, let's pause for a moment and reflect. You're already doing so much by simply paying attention to how you feel. You're learning, growing, and taking steps that truly matter. Lowering high blood pressure isn't about changing everything overnight. It's about finding small, manageable ways to support your body and your heart. When you move your body, Feed it well, reduce stress, and get quality sleep. You're giving your heart exactly what it needs to thrive. You're not just lowering numbers, you're increasing your chances of living fully, with more energy, more peace, and more of the moments that matter most. And remember, you're not alone in this. Millions of people your age are making the same changes, facing the same challenges, and discovering that it's never too late to feel better. Your journey is your own, but you're in good company. Now that we've explored how stress and sleep deeply affect your blood pressure and how manageable these changes can be, let's keep going. There's one more powerful piece to this puzzle, and it's one that many people overlook: staying consistent with your medications and regular checkups. Now, I know this part isn't as exciting as a walk in the sunshine or a plate full of colorful fruits and veggies, but it's just as important, maybe even more. Because no matter how well you eat, how much you move, or how deeply you breathe, if your doctor has prescribed you medication for high blood pressure, it's there for a reason. Here's the thing. High blood pressure often doesn't come with clear symptoms. You might feel fine even when your numbers are creeping up. That's why it's sometimes called the silent killer. It slowly puts strain on your heart, your arteries, your kidneys, and even your brain, without giving you a warning. That's also why your medication matters. It's not just about taking a pill. It's about helping your body keep things balanced and preventing serious problems before they happen. But let's be honest, keeping up with medication can be a challenge. Maybe you forget a dose here or there. Maybe you've got several prescriptions and it's hard to keep them straight. Or maybe you've been tempted to stop taking them altogether because, well, you feel fine and the side effects are annoying. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. But I want to encourage you, don't make changes to your medication routine without talking to your doctor. They can help you adjust dosages, switch medications if needed, or find ways to make it easier to stick with your plan. One helpful trick: try tying your medication to a daily habit. Take your pills when you brush your teeth in the morning or right after breakfast. Use a pill organizer to help keep things simple. Some people even set reminders on their phone or smart speaker. Whatever works for you is the right system. And if you ever feel overwhelmed by all the different pills, bottles, and instructions, ask your pharmacist for help. They can walk you through everything and even suggest simpler ways to manage your routine. You deserve care that fits your life, not the other way around. Now, let's talk about those regular checkups. I know doctor visits can feel like a chore, especially when you have to wait around or go through the same routine over and over. But those checkups are your lifeline. They give your doctor a chance to catch changes early, adjust your treatment plan, and keep you on the path to better health. Think of it like checking the oil in your car. If you wait until the engine's making noise, the damage might already be done. But if you check it regularly, you can prevent a breakdown. Your body works the same way. And here's something else worth mentioning. When you go to your appointments, speak up. Don't be afraid to ask questions or share how you're really feeling. If something's bothering you, fatigue, dizziness, swelling, anything, bring it up. Doctors can't help with what they don't know. You are your own best advocate. Now, you might be wondering, what if I'm doing all the right things and my blood pressure is still high? That's a fair question, and it's one I hear often. The truth is, for some people, high blood pressure is partly genetic, can run in families, but that doesn't mean you're powerless. What you're doing, the walking, the eating better, the managing stress, the sleeping well, the staying on top of medications, all of that is helping your heart. Even if your numbers don't drop dramatically, you're still reducing your risk of complications. You're still moving in the right direction. And here's the most important part. You're taking control of your health. That's something to be proud of, because every small step you take adds up to a longer, healthier, more enjoyable life. You're not just lowering blood pressure, you're reclaiming your energy, your clarity, your peace of mind. You're giving yourself more time to do the things you love and be with the people who matter most. Let's take a moment to look at everything we've covered together. You've learned how a short daily walk can strengthen your heart. You've seen how fresh, whole foods, especially those low in sodium and rich in potassium, can lower your blood pressure naturally. You've discovered how calming your mind and prioritizing restful sleep create a healing environment for your heart. And now, you understand the power of staying consistent with your medications and working closely with your healthcare team. None of these things require perfection. You don't need fancy equipment or a strict regimen. All you need is a willingness to begin and to keep going one small step at a time. If you've made it this far in the video, I want you to take a moment and really celebrate yourself. You're investing in your health. You're learning, you're growing, and you're showing up for yourself in a powerful way. That matters. And if you're thinking, it's too late for me, please hear this. It's never too late. Your body is always working to heal, to repair, to thrive. Even small changes can lead to big results, especially when they're done with love and intention. So I want to encourage you, choose one thing today. Just one. Maybe it's going for a walk after lunch. Maybe it's swapping out processed food for something fresh. Maybe it's setting a reminder to take your meds on time. Whatever it is, make it doable and make it yours. And then tomorrow, do it again. Not perfectly, just consistently. That's how real change happens. That's how you protect your heart, your energy, and your future. If Have you ever wondered what the world's oldest people know that we don't? Why do some folks in their 90s or even 100s still garden, laugh with friends, or dance at family gatherings, while others struggle with fatigue and aches decades earlier? Friends, the answer isn't magic. It's not even about fancy pills or expensive treatments. It's about simple, everyday choices you can start making today. You see, I've spent years studying the habits of people in places called blue zones, regions like Okinawa, Japan, or Sardinia, Italy, where living to 100 isn't rare. And what I've learned is this: longevity isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. And guess what? You don't need to move to a remote village or overhaul your entire routine. Today, I'm sharing the first 3 of 7 secrets these vibrant seniors swear by, and how you can weave them into your life starting right now. Let's start with secret number 1: eat mostly plants. Now, I'm not saying you need to become a strict vegetarian, but here's the truth. Centenarians in blue zones eat meat maybe 5 times a month, not 5 times a week. Their plates are bursting with beans, leafy greens, whole grains, and nuts. Take the Okinawans, for example. They've mastered the art of hara hachi biyu, eating until they're 80% full. It's not about deprivation. It's about savoring what nourishes you. Try this tomorrow. Fill half your plate with vegetables you love, sweet potatoes, spinach, carrots, and see how you feel. Small shifts, big rewards. Now, secret number 2: move naturally. Notice I didn't say join a gym or run marathons. The world's oldest people don't exercise. They just move. They garden, walk to a neighbor's house, chop wood, or knead bread by hand. It's movement woven into daily life. My friend Maria, who's 94 and still tends her rose bushes, put it perfectly: if I sit too long, my body complains. So here's your challenge. Today, find one way to move without calling it exercise. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park farther from the store. Or put on your favorite song and sway while you cook dinner. Your joints, heart, and mood will thank you. And here's my favorite, secret number 3, find your purpose. In Okinawa, they call it ikigai, your reason to wake up in the morning. For some, it's caring for grandchildren. For others, it's volunteering, painting, or even baking pies for the church social. A study found that people with a strong sense of purpose live 7 years longer on average. 7 years. So ask yourself, what makes you feel needed? What brings you joy? Maybe it's teaching your grandkids to fish, writing letters to old friends, or growing tomatoes to share with the neighborhood. It doesn't need to be grand. It just needs to matter to you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds too simple, but that's the beauty of it. Longevity isn't about drastic changes. It's about consistency. It's choosing beans over burgers most days, taking the stairs today and tomorrow, and waking up with a reason to smile. These first 3 secrets, they're your foundation. And the best part? You can start right this minute. So why not try one tiny step today? Swap that afternoon cookie for a handful of almonds. Call a friend and suggest a walk around the block. Or jot down one thing that gives you purpose. Then do a little more of it this week. Remember, friends, aging isn't the enemy. It's how we approach it that makes all the difference. And trust me, we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore together. So pour yourself a cup of tea, grab a notebook if you'd like, and let's keep this conversation going. After all, why wait to live your fullest, longest life? You know, friends, there's something I've noticed about the happiest, healthiest seniors I've met. They don't just live long, they thrive long. And it's not because they've avoided hardship. No, they've simply learned how to navigate life's storms with grace. Today, we're diving into 3 more secrets that help them do just that. Practice is so simple, you might think, why didn't I think of that? Let's get right into it. Secret number 5, downshift daily. Think about this. When was the last time you truly paused? Not just sat down, but let your mind rest? In Sardinia, Italy, another blue zone, they've mastered the art of siesta, a midday break to recharge. But here's the twist. It's not just about napping. It's about shedding stress on purpose. One 97-year-old fisherman told me, "The sea can wait, my heart can't." So how do you downshift in a world that never stops? It could be as simple as sitting on your porch for 10 minutes with no agenda, taking 5 deep breaths before a meal, or even laughing with a friend over old photos. Stress isn't the enemy. It's unmanaged stress that wears us down. Your mission? Find one tiny moment today to press pause. Now, let's talk about secret number 5. Belong to a community. I'll never forget meeting Hiroshi, a 101-year-old from Okinawa, who meets his childhood friends every Tuesday at the same cafe. They've been doing this for 70 years. He told me, "These men know my soul. They keep me young." Research shows that loneliness can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But belonging isn't about having hundreds of friends. It's about having a few who truly see you. Maybe it's a book club, a church group, or even a weekly phone call with your sister. The key? Show up, not just physically, but heart first. If you're thinking, "But I'm not a joiner," start small. Wave to a neighbor, share a recipe, or simply say yes to that invitation you've been hesitating about. Connection is a muscle, flex it often. And here's one that might surprise you. Secret number 6, put family first. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, centenarians often live with their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren under one roof. But it's not just about proximity, it's about priority. They invest time in family rituals. Sunday dinners, storytelling, even squabbles over card games. One 95-year-old grandmother, Rosa, told me, "My grandchildren's laughter is my medicine." Now, maybe your family isn't nearby, that's okay. Family can be whoever feels like home. The lesson here? Make the people you love a non-negotiable part of your week. Cook a meal together, share old stories, or simply sit in comfortable silence, side by side. These moments aren't just memories, they're lifelines. Now, I know some of these secrets might feel obvious, but that's the thing about wisdom, isn't it? It's often hiding in plain sight. You don't need a radical new diet or a high-tech gadget. You just need to return to what humans have always done. Rest deeply, connect fiercely, and cherish the ones who've seen you through life's ups and downs. So today, pick one of these secrets and give it a try. Text a friend you've been missing. Sit under a tree and watch the clouds. Or call a family member and ask them to tell you a story from their childhood. These aren't just tips, they're threads in the tapestry of a life well lived. And remember, friends, growing older isn't about slowing down. It's about savoring what truly matters. There's just one final secret left, one that ties all of these together. But I have a feeling you already know what it is. You know, friends, there's a story I love to tell about a woman named Elena. She's 103 years old, lives in a tiny village in Greece, and still tends to her olive grove every morning. When I asked her secret to a long life, she didn't mention diet or exercise. She simply pointed to the church bells ringing in the distance and said, "I wake up grateful." And that brings us to our final secret, the one that stitches all the others together. Secret number 7, nurture your spirit. Whether it's faith, gratitude, or a deep connection to something bigger than yourself, the world's oldest people share one thing. They feed their souls as mindfully as they feed their bodies. In Loma Linda, California, a blue zone where many live past 90, the Seventh-day Adventist community prioritizes a weekly day of rest for prayer, family, and reflection. But spirituality isn't about rigid rules. For some, it's singing in a choir. For others, it's walking in the woods or writing morning pages in a journal. Elena's church is her olive grove. She told me, "When I'm among these trees, I feel like I'm part of a story that began long before me and will go on long after." That's the power of this secret. It roots you. It reminds you that life isn't just about adding years. It's about adding meaning. Now, let's tie this all together. Think of these 7 secrets like ingredients in a recipe. You don't need all of them every single day, but over time, they create something extraordinary. Eat mostly plants to fuel your body. Move naturally to keep it strong. Find your purpose to light your fire. Downshift daily to quiet the noise. Belong to a community to feel seen. Put family first to anchor your heart. Nurture your spirit to feed your soul. But here's what I really want you to remember. You don't have to be perfect. Miss a day of veggies? Forgot to call a friend? That's okay. Longevity isn't a checklist. It's a rhythm. It's the gentle persistence of choosing beans over bacon most mornings, of laughing with your granddaughter even when your knees ache, of pausing to watch the sunset even when the laundry's piled up. These choices, small as they seem, compound. They're how Maria, at 94, still grows roses that win county fairs. How Hiroshi's laughter still echoes in that Okinawa cafe. How you might just find yourself at 90, looking back and thinking, "I'd do it all again." So let's start today, right where you are. Pick one thing from these 7 secrets that speaks to you. Maybe it's swapping your afternoon snack for spiced walnuts. Maybe it's calling your brother to reminisce about that camping trip from 40 years ago. Or maybe it's simply sitting quietly with your coffee tomorrow, listing 3 things you're grateful for. Progress, not perfection. And I'd love to hear from you. What's your secret to a life well lived? Share it in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to take their first step. If this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit subscribe. We're building a community of folks who believe aging isn't about slowing down. It's about rising up, wiser and bolder with every year. Before I go, I'll leave you with this. The oldest person I ever met was 107. When I asked her what she'd tell her younger self, she winked and said, "Don't wait. Don't wait to forgive. Don't wait to dance. Don't wait to love like it's your last day, because one day it will be." Friends, your best years aren't behind you. They're here waiting in the choices you make today. So let's make them count. Have you ever wondered what the world's oldest people know that we don't? Why do some folks in their 90s or even 100s still garden, laugh with friends, or dance at family gatherings, while others struggle with fatigue and aches decades earlier? Friends, the answer isn't magic. It's not even about fancy pills or expensive treatments. It's about simple, everyday choices you can start making today. You see, I've spent years studying the habits of people in places called blue zones, regions like Okinawa, Japan, or Sardinia, Italy, where living to 100 isn't rare. And what I've learned is this: longevity isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. And guess what? You don't need to move to a remote village or overhaul your entire routine. Today, I'm sharing the first 3 of 7 secrets these vibrant seniors swear by, and how you can weave them into your life starting right now. Let's start with secret number 1: eat mostly plants. Now, I'm not saying you need to become a strict vegetarian, but here's the truth. Centenarians in blue zones eat meat maybe 5 times a month, not 5 times a week. Their plates are bursting with beans, leafy greens, whole grains, and nuts. Take the Okinawans, for example. They've mastered the art of hara hachi biyu, eating until they're 80% full. It's not about deprivation. It's about savoring what nourishes you. Try this tomorrow. Fill half your plate with vegetables you love, sweet potatoes, spinach, carrots, and see how you feel. Small shifts, big rewards. Now, secret number 2: move naturally. Notice I didn't say join a gym or run marathons. The world's oldest people don't exercise. They just move. They garden, walk to a neighbor's house, chop wood, or knead bread by hand. It's movement woven into daily life. My friend Maria, who's 94 and still tends her rose bushes, put it perfectly: if I sit too long, my body complains. So here's your challenge. Today, find one way to move without calling it exercise. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park farther from the store. Or put on your favorite song and sway while you cook dinner. Your joints, heart, and mood will thank you. And here's my favorite, secret number 3: find your purpose. In Okinawa, they call it ikigai, your reason to wake up in the morning. For some, it's caring for grandchildren. For others, it's volunteering, painting, or even baking pies for the church social. A study found that people with a strong sense of purpose live 7 years longer on average. 7 years. So ask yourself, what makes you feel needed? What brings you joy? Maybe it's teaching your grandkids to fish, writing letters to old friends, or growing tomatoes to share with the neighborhood. It doesn't need to be grand. It just needs to matter to you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds too simple, but that's the beauty of it. Longevity isn't about drastic changes. It's about consistency. It's choosing beans over burgers most days, taking the stairs today and tomorrow, and waking up with a reason to smile. These first 3 secrets, they're your foundation. And the best part? You can start right this minute. So why not try one tiny step today? Swap that afternoon cookie for a handful of almonds. Call a friend and suggest a walk around the block. Or jot down one thing that gives you purpose. Then do a little more of it this week. Remember, friends, aging isn't the enemy. It's how we approach it that makes all the difference. And trust me, we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore together. So pour yourself a cup of tea, grab a notebook if you'd like,